Minglaba. In these videos, we are going to continue learning on the exploratory data analysis. In the previous video, we talked about how to understand each individual variables. Right? What are the statistical values for each variables? In these videos, we are going to learn how to group the data, all right, and also see the relationship between different variables. Let's start with grouping of the data, right? In Python, we can use a group by to extract the information for each group. Uh, this group by give you a handy tools to do the grouping analysis, and it will improve your accuracy on understanding the data. Okay, and it can also focus on the important subdata. For example, in our previous videos, we did an exercise on our donor data. We saw the average income, average like investment cost, and average return on investment. But it is giving the data for all across the programs, right? So by looking at the group by information, we can specifically focus on each individual program. Okay, let's look at on this. Right. So here I'm going to group the data by investment program. Okay. So then I will find the average values for each column. All right. So if I do it DF group by investment program, Python will help you group and then find the average value for each programs. All right. So here you can see that income for the acquisition May group is 50,521. Whereas we have the PSFR face-to-face agency group contributed for 30,300 no 303,518 values. All right. So this is the average income coming from the face-to-face agency group program. Right? So this gives you more accurate data, and then it gives you a clear idea based on your goal. Right. So from this data, if you look at only the income, we can see the face-to-face agency provide you the highest income, average income, all right, compared to the rest. Okay. Now let's see what we can do further with the group by. All right. So if we just do the DF group by investment program, the data will be grouped based on the investment program, and then this average value will be calculated for all numerical values. Here I show only 3 columns because of the space, but actually if you just use a DF group by, it will calculate for all numerical values, which are including the year and return on investment. All right. So if you want to specifically define which column to extract, we still can use the df group by, then we just extract the particular column. For instance, here, I just want to extract the income column. So what we can do is we can define which column information to be calculated for the average value. Right. So this is how we can use we can focus on specific particular variables to see how the average income changes based on the different program. Right. The group by method, similar to the group by method, all right, we also have the in the group by method, actually we can not only at one level, we can also do the 2-level grouping. Right. In this example, we perform the 2-level grouping by providing 2 variables in the combined method group by. Right. You can see that there's a square bracket, and then I give both investment program and investment year. So if you look at this result, we can see that under the acquisition mail investment program, through the mail investment program, all right, in 2018, there is an average income. Average income is only 3,270. 2019, average income has increased to almost 20,000. Almost 20,000 in 2019 and 2020. We also can see the acquisition mail progress started only from 2018, even though we have the data from 2012 to 2020. All right, so you can see that we are actually focusing on the more details in the each group, and then we extract the subgroup information. All right. Similar to group by, we can also use the pivot method. Pivot method may be familiar to you all, especially those who have used Google Sheet and Excel a lot. All right. Another pivot table provide you to give you the white table format. It's exactly the same with your Google Sheet or Excel. All right. So if you use a pivot table, first of all, the first parameter you have to give is a data frame. Of course, the data that you want to extract the pivot table. You want to create a pivot table. All right. Then you have to give the values, which value you are going to calculate. And then we can have to define the columns and index. Here, my index is investment program. I want to see by the investment program across the years. Right. So this is a similar idea to two-level group by method. Okay. So two-level group by method give you the long format. Pivot method give you the wide format. You can use a mail function to convert from the wide format to long format. All right. So this is how you can study going into the detail of subgroup and group by. Next, we will study the relationships between variables. All right. When we talk about the relationships between variables, we see how the pairs of variables or more than one, two variables are how they are correlated. All right. So when we talk about correlation in Python, we are referring to Pearson correlation coefficient. Okay, Pearson correlation coefficient give you the linear, give you the values from -1 to 1. All right, 1 indicates that you have the highest positive correlation. What it means is that one variable increase, other variable also increase, and they are strongly correlated. -1 give you the opposite. All right, so -1 is negatively correlated. Okay. Pearson correlation only give you the linear result, right? If the two variables are correlated based on the nonlinearity, it will not reflect here, okay? And please take note that correlation is not the same with causation, okay? It doesn't give you that because it doesn't give you the reason why this data is, how does this data change, all right? So mainly correlation is showing you the relationship between two variables. So let's see how we can do it the numerical versus numerical values. All right. For example, in our data set, income versus investment cost, we may want to see how these two variables are correlated. All right. Or investment cost versus return on investment, which is mostly we will want to know, okay, income versus return on investment or age versus income. Right. So we want to see whether if the person grow older, do we have a higher income? Right. How these two variables are correlated. Okay, so for this purpose, we can use df.core in Python. CORR stand for correlation. All right. So if you use df.core, this is the result you will get. Okay, we can see that there's a correlation coefficient between income and retention investment is 0.98. It means income and retention investment are highly correlated. Right? Once the investment is higher, income is also go higher. Okay, so this gives you the predictable values where we might be able to predict the income based on the retention investment. But if you look at the return on investment and acquisition investment, okay, return on investment and acquisition investment, the correlation coefficient is only -0.04. It's almost going to 0. Right? If it's a 0, that means they are not correlated. Linearly, they are not linearly correlated, right? They might be correlated in non-linear way, okay? So from this, what we can see is that it doesn't mean that if you invest more, you will get the higher return on investment. It's not necessary. From this data, it is showing this, right? So this is how we have to interpret the correlation coefficient. Like what I mentioned in the previous video, exploratory data analysis is a very important step for your project. Okay, so we have to understand this, and then we have to use a different Python methods function that I have shared in the previous videos and the current videos to extract the information. Not only extracting the information, we have to use the data visualization tool to present your data. All right, either for the reporting or share it with the stakeholder, or otherwise we can go for modeling. Based on this exploratory data analysis, how can we model, how can we predict one variable based on other? All right, so this is what you are going to learn in the next test. We will start with the data visualization, followed by data preprocessing for machine learning, and we will do the modeling based on machine learning. That's all for today. Enjoy exploring your data. Thank you.